we say good. We may not say that at all. We want to hide that sentiment. But we say he deserves it. Or whatever, something like that. But here is this man, this Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Radhanath Swami. I remember in 2018, November, December, when they had the bureau meetings in Gurgaon. It was so heated. It was so different people pulling in different. But these personalities, Japatak Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Swami, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, is just pacifying. I mean, there's just mere presence. And I remember when Radhesham Prabhu refused to accept this responsibility of coming to Hyderabad and being a part of the management, Radhesham Prabhu saying, I've had enough management. I don't want to, but I'm ready to go there. I'm going to help. But Radhesham was unwilling. Radhesham Prabhu was unwilling to be part of the management. How they brought him next to each, and Gopal Krishna Maharaj, between Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Radhanath Swami, how they gently, lovingly embraced him, put their arm on his shoulder, this way, talking this way, talking that way. Poor Radhesham Prabhu didn't know which way to turn, one side GKG, one side his own guru. I'm not so sure if, don't quote me to Radhesham Prabhu. Well, secretly I'm revealing in the hope that you won't quote me and, So they convinced him. And I'm telling you this. I just stood at a distance just to watch this. I thought, I thought, how can I miss this? They spoke to him, they convinced him. It took a long time. He didn't agree so easily. Then Radhanath Swami took him, so many things. But you see, they had this vision that, a team has to be there, not one person. So many injuries. When I say injuries, I mean so many hurt feelings are there. And we need a team that can offer tender, loving care to all the devotees there and heal that system and bring it back. And they achieved it. And a year or so later, a year and a half later, this only is Radhanath Swami visited Tirupati. I think we used to have the GBC meetings, the October schedule in Tirupati. So all the brahmacharis who had shifted to the temple, headed by Sarashirmani Prabhu, came to my room and said, Prabhu, we all want to go to Tirupati and we want you to come along. I said, why me? They said, no, Prabhu, we want you to come. So I said, fine, I'll be happy because I'll meet all the GBCs, hopefully I'll meet my Guru Maharaj, I'll meet Gopal Krishna. I keep telling everybody, I'm a fan of these people. I may not be their disciple, but I'm their fan. I admire them. I admire them limitlessly. So as we went there and then we got down, Sarashiromani Prabhu, Mahaprabhu, what's his name? Vishnu Prasad, all of them came to me and said, Prabhu, somehow we want darshan of Radhanath Swami, audience sometime to talk to him. And please, why don't you, I said, yeah, go ahead, ask him maybe. He said, no, it's not as easy as that. Maharaj won't accept so easily. You can't just go and ask him for time. He'll say, go talk to my secretary or go talk here, talk there, something like that. It's not so easy. Please, Prabhu, please make it happen. I said, this is a strange burden on me. You're asking me to arrange a meeting between you and your guru. And you're saying it's my responsibility. Please, Prabhu, we all came here only for that. We wanted to have a darshan. So I remember I tracked Radhanath Swami going behind him wherever he was going. At one point of time, he had to do it. He turned his back and looked at me, smiled and said, yes. So what is it that I can do for you? He asked, because I was going behind him. Then I said, Maharaj, yeah, there's something you can do for me. So, yes, please tell me. Because when I became the member of the HTMC, Hyderabad Temple, I had requested him that, somehow I had requested him that someday I'll come back to him for a favor. And then Radhanath Swami is very typical. I'm not promising anything. So I went and I spoke to him and I said, Maharaj, these are disciples, your disciples who have sacrificed. They're helping us turn around the Hyderabad temple. They're all either your disciples or aspiring to be your disciples. And they just want to present a small 5-minute report to you, what all they've done, and get blessings and get some instructions from you. And I think they deserve it. And we've come all the way from Hyderabad just for this. So Maharaj looked up and down and this and that. And then he says, all right. I mean, it was such a big moment for all these brahmacharis. They were so happy. And then the reason I'm saying is because Maharaj did something extraordinary after that. Then we all gathered, and as Maharaj, he promised, we all gathered. Maharaj walked in, and he started speaking. And then he called me and he said, you know them all? They're all serving under you. There were about 22 or 23 of them. I said, yes, Maharaj, they're all serving, etc. Then can you tell me what each one of them is doing? Introduce each one of them, tell me their names, and tell me what each one of them is doing. Tell me their names and tell me what each one of them is doing. That was like, I thought this is one of the smartest questions I've ever been asked in my spiritual life, Tell me their names, tell me what each one of them is doing. I said, all right, Maharaj, I will try. I think I must have got about 80% of the names okay. Because and I don't stay there all the time, but I mean, that's an excuse. I should know everybody who's serving Madan Mohan. So I said this and I introduced them one by their name. And I said, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing that. Maharaj heard the whole thing and then he addressed everybody. He spoke to them and he said, Hyderabad is one of the most important ISKCON temples in the world. It was established by Prabhupada. And the fact that you've all gone there and you're serving the deities, I'm very grateful to you. In Maharaj's own typical style, he said, I'm very grateful to you. I'm very, very deeply obliged to each one of you that you're serving there. I know it's tough. I know it's been like that. So, he's neither the GBC of that place, nor the zonal secretary, nor the regional secretary, nor anything. It's got nothing to do with Hyderabad, Radhanath Swami. But he took that personal interest. He stood there because I think that's what makes him so special. That's what makes him so unique. That's what makes him so worshipable. Radhanath Swami is so worshipable because of all these out of the world qualities. He has nothing to do with Hyderabad. He's nothing to gain. It was never his own. It's just because there was a difficulty there. There was some crisis there, and it's a temple established by Prabhupada. I don't think Radhanath Swami would have reacted differently if it was a temple not built by Prabhupada. For him, every temple is like his limb, one limb of his body. That's the depth of his feeling for ISKCON, ISKCON's property, ISKCON's deities, and ISKCON's devotees. That's the depth of his feeling. That's the depth of his genuine feeling for every single devotee who gives something to Prabhupada and this movement, They know they have to be protected, they have to encourage, they have to be whatever. That's what makes Radhanath Swami so special. So, I mean, I've had many encounters, simply my good fortune in this life, but I met him a few times and I had opportunities to interact. I also said this once, I don't know, once 3 years back or something, I mentioned this. When I was taking care of the Jagannath Mandir, he came to me, we had a nice program, we had a packed house. He loved it, he did some kirtan, he gave a class, and then he was supposed to have gone. And suddenly everybody came running to me and said, Maharaj is looking for you. Radhanath Swami Maharaj is looking for you. I kind of panicked and said, he was supposed to have gone long back. What happened? So he came looking for me, and I had a little ramshackle office in that Jagannath Mandir. Part go down, part office, something like that. And it was already packed with many people and so many things happening there. So he didn't know what to do. So he took me outside, one corner of that, on the right side of the temple. We have that. I think the devotees to this, they take some prasad, or used to take. He took me to the place, he had the chadar, he put it on, and then he sat down, he gave a part of the chadar to me and said, sit down, I want to talk to you. I said, I felt so embarrassed. I said, I can't sit on your chadar, Maharaj. And he said, pulled my hand and made me sit on it. Just like this he did. I just sat down. He said, Brother Krishna, he spoke so nicely about me. He said, I've heard about you. I did this and that. I mean, we have an old friendship that many of them know. He saved me when I was a Ritvik. I think I've shared that story. Have I? How many of you remember? I've shared that story. Oh, I'll tell you. That's an out of the world story. So he pulled me down and he said, you're lucky. You've got this opportunity to work in this temple, serve in this temple. What are your plans for this temple? I said, Maharaj, I didn't understand. What is it you're asking me? Then he said, you see, ISKCON has a particular standard. We like to, we represent Prabhupada, we represent Lord Chaitanya, we represent the Guru Parampara, the most wonderful, the most celebrated Guru Parampara, we represent him. And there's a certain standard that is expected to be, we have to have. And then he explained to me, and then he said, you start working on making this place much more beautiful, more attractive, more presentable. Because this is the place where the Supreme Lord resides. Doesn't matter, it's temporary. Then he gave the story about how he began in Chowpatty. That time, I think they also were not very sure how long they would be there. But he said how, on a continuous basis, he would work on improving the place, the way it looks, etc. And he said, this is one of the, create a nice, he said that, create a nice, if possible, an opulent, nice surroundings for the devotees, for the Lord, for the deities, for everybody. He didn't have to do that. He just sat down and explained to me, and he gave the whole philosophy of why we should do that. Then I told him, Maharaj, I'm very grateful to you, not because of this advice, because you thought that this guy, Varada Krishna Das, will take my advice, and confidently you called me here, and in front of everybody. I mean, there were so many of my colleagues and leaders. Not that I said you've given me this. That means, I mean, you've taken that liberty with me. You've taken that liberty. You've given yourself this position of an authority over my life, and you're commanding me. You're instructing me. Maharaj, I will do anything to fulfill this instruction of yours. The fact that you've shown that kind of courage or whatever faith in me, you've taken me under your care. You're instructing me. You're telling me what I should do, how I should do. I'm so grateful to you, Maharaj. That gesture on your part to take me under your care and reprimand me and tell me what I'm doing is not so correct, and I want you to do something better. I don't know how to thank you. I feel so grateful to whatever. I mean, I feel so nice that you've kind of accepted me as your servant or something, and you've instructed me. And then, of course, it's a different story. When we started doing different things in the temple, I somehow concocted, and then we made a false ceiling, so many things. But that was always there in my mind and heart. So Maharaj has this way of touching people's heart. Touching people's heart. And he's not, how can I say? I have this habit. Every now and then, when I'm confused or when I'm little, whatever, I just browse, put on some 7-minute, 8-minute video of Maharaj, and then listen. Every now and then I do that. The last one I heard was 2 things you should never do. He spoke about pride and how one should, I think that was this year's Vyasa Puja address or something. He spoke about cooperation and not having pride and things like that. So I also know, I've attended 1 round of GBC meetings. I also know how much respect he commands. How much respect he commands among his God brothers. How they look upon him. How they look up to him in so many matters. I also know that he's a visionary. He's not some ordinary person. He's done some incredibly innovative preaching. He's built a hospital, he's built Gopal Gardens, he's built schools, he's built the Anadan thing, he's got this Vada thing going on. He's got, this, what does he do? That's Giridhari, whatever his name is. I can't remember his name fully. Radha Giridhari or somebody. He's got this whole thing going on, reaching out to the high network individuals and entrepreneurs and that. And he's got that initiative. It's connecting them with Artha Forum, Artha Foundation or Artha Forum, linking them with Krishna, linking them with Prabhupada, linking them with the process of chanting. And I mean, we can go on listing how he has this ability to touch the lives of influential people and somehow connect them to Krishna. At the same time, he has the time and willingness to spend time with the smallest and the most insignificant of all the devotees. When we talk, or we leaders, we talk, when we have private conversations, we very many times we ask ourselves this question: Is it possible that in this world we'll see again devotees like Radhanath Swami, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Bhaktacharya Swami, or Guru Maharaj, Japataka Swami? Is it possible that we may see people like that again in our lifetime or any lifetime? Is it possible at all for some people to be so dedicated, so loyal? I don't know how blessed you people are. You're also blessed. You're also fortunate. You're the most blessed people in this whole universe to have someone like him guiding you, someone like him under whose care you serve, someone like him to look up to. Someone like him to look up to. I remember once or twice I've asked him sometimes I've asked all kinds of awkward questions, but he's had the time to answer all of those questions that I asked. Again, when I had an opportunity to meet him sometime in Mayapur, we were walking up, and I never thought he would spot me in a crowd and come slowly. He has this way of doing things. He looked somewhere else, but he started walking towards me and then caught me and then held me and he said, "How are you doing? What's happening in Hyderabad?" Different things like that. So they've given everything they have for Krishna and Prabhupada. I don't think even a thought of anything other than serving Prabhupada even enters their head. I'm sure anything like that is scared to enter his mind. Any thought other than the thought and idea of wanting to dedicate themselves and serve Prabhupada and his mission more and more, I don't think it even enters their mind and consciousness. These are incredible people. These are the Mahabhagavatas. These are people who can be called Mahabhagavats, who are explained in the Bhagavatam or the Chaitanya Charitamrita. These people are not ordinary people. ISKCON has grown so phenomenally in the last 35, 40 years because of these personalities and their sacrifice and their vision and their cooperative spirit and the way they work together. Everything that they've said or done is an example for generations to come. How to stay cooperatively, how to work cooperatively, how to handle differences, how to handle conflicts, how to resolve them, etc. For generations to come, he and whatever they've done, said, or acted are examples. Once again, I want to thank all of you. Once again, I want to congratulate all of you. You are lucky. You're blessed to have somebody like him. And I'm blessed to be to have so many of you visit our temple on the same day like this and give us an opportunity to somehow or other serve you and show our appreciation, not just for your commitment, but also appreciation to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. On this occasion, I would like to pray to our beloved deities that may Sri Radhanath Swami Maharaj live long. May he have excellent health. May he be more successful in his efforts to serve Prabhupada and the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, His Grace Varat Krishna Prabhu, for such an amazing flow of nectar. So somehow none of us wanted to look at our watches because such a wonderful flow of nectar straight from his heart. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your encouraging words. And we also take this as an expectation from you, expectation of yours from all of us, that how we should be able to do our part. So once there was this devotee family, Maharaj's program was supposed to be organized there. And this devotee family from morning, they were working very, very hard to set up the entire place, to make all arrangements for the program. And the program was to happen in the evening. And then Maharaj, as soon as Maharaj arrived, there was a power cut. And that house did not have any inverter or generator or anything like that. So there was a power cut and it was pitch dark. It was like a black den. And this devotee family was so morose. They were feeling that whole day they worked hard, they prepared everything. And just when the right moment arrived, the time of the program, there was a power cut. And then they told Maharaj, very, very sorry, there is no power. Maharaj said, no problem, I am not attached to power. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for reminding us about what responsibility we have on our shoulders. Now we have come to the close of the offerings with Prabhuji making his offering. And at this point in time, it is very appropriate for me to share one incident of the first Vyasa Puja celebration which was ever held in Pune. Maharaj, after all the offerings, just like we are done with all our offerings today, after all the offerings, Maharaj had tears in his eyes and he told Vrindavan Prabhu that this was the most austere day of my life. While hearing glorifications, I was feeling like I am stealing from Prabhupada. So we all can understand what is Maharaj's mood. So now I request, Roji, we'll have Pushpanjali now first, or we'll request Bharat Krishna Prabhu to cut the cake and then, okay. So I request Bharat Krishna Prabhu to, Shyamkund Prabhu. You
Braj Kishore Prabhu.
Yeah. To cut the cake.
Yes, please come. Shyamkund Prabhu. Nirmal Krishna Prabhu.
Nirmal Krishna Prabhu. So request these devotees to kindly come forward and cut the cake. Come. Yes. Cake cutting. Please come, please. I'm sure Maharaj will be very, very happy. Please come.
Nirmal
Bharat Krishna Prabhu is already there.
Nirmal Krishna. So, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, we will sing. Hare Krishna will sing. So once some devotees brought a cake to Maharaj, Maharaj said, "What is this?" Devotee said, "Maharaj, cake." Maharaj said, "Okay." Then they gave him knife. Maharaj said, "What is this for?" Then devotee said, "To cut." Maharaj said, "Oh, sadhu means to cut." Then saying so, he cut the cake. Yes, Prabhuji. So while the cake is being cut, can we all do like Hare Krishna Kirtan? Yes. Yeah, if all devotees can please come close, and if some devotees can get on to Mridang, Harmonium, Kartal. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Bharat Krishna Prabhu is requesting all devotees to take a look at the cake. Such a wonderful cake which has been made as an offering. Who made this cake? Roji is asking. Harmonium cake. Kumari Daya Mataji and group. So they have made this wonderful harmonium cake. So all devotees can see the cake as it is being cut. Yeah. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear Maharaj, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear Maharaj, Hare Krishna to you. Haribo, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsav ki. So I request all devotees. Now there are a couple of announcements. Now we'll have Pushpanjali, which will be led by His Grace Braj Kishore Prabhu. Followed by Pushpanjali, we'll have Guru Vashtakam and Guru Puja of Radhanath Maharaj. And after that, I request all devotees, as we are going out of this hall towards Prasadam, there is a book counter which has been set up by Venkat Govind Prabhu. His Grace Vrindavan Prabhu has released this book as a wonderful offering to Maharaj, his memories of Maharaj. So as devotees go out towards Prasadam, I request devotees to kindly pick their copies of the book from that counter. So we'll have now Pushpanjali by His Grace, led by His Grace Vraj Kishore. And devotees will circulate the flowers. Yeah, kindly please take some flower petals in your hands, and we'll do 3 times. So we'll be offering 3 times. So do not offer all flowers in one shot. I mean, like we'll do it 3 times.
Hare Krishna. So we'll chant the Mangala Charan. So after me, everybody can repeat. So since we are a lot of devotees here, and the people behind, when they offer Pushpanjali, so it may not reach here. So my humble request is that you please offer it from wherever you are and put it in your other hand. So each time you offer, you just keep it in your hand. Don't throw the flowers. And after the Pushpanjali is done, then during the Aarti, you can come and offer the flowers. Okay? Jai Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki jai. Om Ajnantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Bhakti Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi दायिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्ध अपसिद्धांत द्वंत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबर सांबोधे पदाम्भोजायते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौमः श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतार भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतौ पंगोर मम मंद मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद् वृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद् रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवौ पृष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षण्वेणुस्वनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तु नः तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we'll recite Srila Radhanath Maharaj's Pranam Mantra thrice. So every time we recite the mantra, we take 1/3 of those flowers that we have, we offer it, and then those who are behind, they can just keep in the other hand, and then we offer obeisances. So we do this 3 times. All right. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namine Esha Pushpanjali. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Radhana Swami Niti Namine Esha Pushpanjali. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namine Esha Pushpanjali. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki.
Thank you, Vraj Kishore Prabhu. I request Sudhir Gopal Prabhu to kindly give the vote of thanks.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna. I request all devotees to kindly maintain silence and please hear attentively the contribution of all devotees which has gone into this celebration. Attitude of gratitude is one of the most important pillars of Maharaj's instructions. So let us please pay attention to what Sudhir Gopal Prabhu is going to mention.
Hare Krishna. Yes, the most important part of the festival is our prasadam. That will be followed just after we do Guru Puja. After we do Guru Puja, we will have prasadam. Prasadam will be having not in our prasadam hall, but in our Kanaka Parameswari temple hall. So after the Guru Puja, after we'll have some dancing kirtan, as Maharaj does in Yatras. After that, we'll go for prasadam. Okay, Hare Krishna. So would really like to thank once again all the devotees for coming so sincerely, so enthusiastically to this program. Yes, while we were thinking of this program, we are a little skeptical how to go ahead, but we are very, very inspired. For that, we would really like to thank His Grace Bharata Krishna Prabhu ki. So he was really inspiration behind this program because we were a little skeptical whether to go ahead or not go ahead, how to go ahead, because another part also was that second Saturday Abhisekam is going on, and then he helped us in organizing the right place where we can cook and where we can offer prasadam and so on. So would really like to thank our temple team as well. Like we have our Pundarik Prabhu from early morning. He has been serving the decoration, for the sound system, for kirtan, for everything. So we are very, very thankful to Pundarik Prabhuji. Hari Bol, Pundarik Prasad Prabhuji. Yes, Hare Krishna, if you don't mind, if you can just please be seated for 2 minutes. Please. Maharaj is always pleased when the devotees are glorified. Please be seated for 2 minutes. Hare Krishna. Yes, our temple team led by our Sudarshan Sundar Prabhuji, Subandhu Prabhu, and all the devotees who have really helped us in organizing this program. We are very, very thankful to them. Let's give a big Hari Bol to the temple devotees. Hari Bol! Okay. So, I would really like to thank once again our sound system devotees. Yes, always, and it's a difficult part. Our sound system devotees led by our Siddharth Prabhu, Deepak Prabhu, Deepesh Prabhu, and of course our Pundarik Prabhu. So let's them by loudly chanting. Yes. Maharaj will be more pleased if you chant loudly, million times louder for all the devotees. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now I would like to thank all the devotees who helped us in decoration, led by our Jairam Prabhu, our Shreya Mataji, Revati Mataji, Devanand Prabhu, Vaisali Mataji, Biraj Prabhu, and so many other devotees. Let's give a big thank you by lively chanting. Okay, so now for our cooking team. So a lot of preparation has gone for cooking. So it's led by our Nihar Prabhu, our Jitendra Prabhu, Lakshmi Mataji, Sonia Mataji, our Binit Prabhu. This whole cooking arrangement was coordinated by our Audarya Gop Prabhu, especially in the vegetable cutting and so many other sevas. We had a lot of Matajis like Rasmi Mataji, our Deepak Prabhuji's family, our Devasis Prabhu, Parvatama Mataji, and Binit Prabhu, and so many other devotees. So let's give a big thank you to all the cooking team devotees by loudly chanting. Haribo. So our Bhoga offering was coordinated by our Dipali Mataji and Brinda Mataji. So let's give them a big thank you by loudly chanting. Okay. And now also the important part of the festival that's yet to come up, but let's thank them in advance. The serving will be done by our ISV voice devotees led by Subarna Gaurhari Prabhuji. Let's thank them by loudly chanting. And yes, after the end of the program, always a difficult seva is Wrap-up Seva. So Wrap-up Seva has been taken care by our Braj Krishna Prabhu's ISMS voice. So let them also thank by loudly chanting. And yes, the men behind the show are Vyasacharya Prabhu. So he's very eager to always serve something for Maharaj, and he was so enthusiastic to serve and to share the glories of the devotees and for Maharaj. So let's thank him by loudly chanting. Okay. And I would really like to thank some devotees who have really been meditating and planning and so many things for this Vyasa Puja, led by our Venkat Govind Prabhu, Braj Gopika Mataji, our Sri Gopinath Pran Prabhu, Kumardeya Mataji, Odere Go Prabhu, Sri Balaji Prabhu, Ananta Prabhu, and so many other devotees. So I would really like to thank by loudly chanting. And yes, once again, it would not have been possible without all of your sincere presence. And we would like to thank all of you by million times loudly chanting, Hariva, Hariva, Hariva. Thank you very much. So now we'll move forward for our Gurvashtakam and Guru Puja, and then we'll be going for Prasadam. So Prasadam, once again, we remind all the devotees that it will be served in Kanika Parameswari Hall. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. And yes, some devotees who have really helped in our cake. So they don't want to be named, but we know who are they. Usually they are the usual devotees who come forward always for coming up with these beautiful cakes. Even that cake was really appreciated by our Radhakrishna Prabhu. So let's thank the devotees who have prepared the cake by loudly chanting, Haribol, Haribol. Thank you very much.
The driving force behind all this program is His Grace Sudhir Gopal Prabhu. Let us chant 3 times Haribol. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Thank you.
Sri Gopinath Pran Prabhu will now lead Gurvashtakam, and we request all devotees to now stand. And after Gurvashtakam, Venkat Govind Prabhu will lead us through the Kirtan. And just like what Maharaj likes and what pleases Maharaj the most, we all should, during the Kirtan, we all will be dancing in circles. Samsara dhava nalalidaloka Pranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam samsara dhava nalalidalo